And I think that speaks to the bigger problem. I felt that they were just a lot more physical, a lot more aggressive than we were. They had 15 steals. They had 33 points in transition. We only had 9. So from beginning to end, their activity, their physicality never allowed us to get into a rhythm all night long. And that ultimately falls on me, to get a team ready to play. And so we were outplayed tonight. We were outcoached tonight. For Nikola to only get 7 shots, that should never be the case.
And it just hits different when you lose to the Lakers, only because it hasn't happened all too often over the last 3 years. But it happened over the weekend, and the Nuggets move on. They move on to Indianapolis. Russell Westbrook.
I like that coat, though.
That is a sweet trench. Pascal Siakam. Remember that trade from Toronto to Indy?
Yeah.
Instant contender. And, of course, Nikola Jokic, who hopes to get off more than 8 shots in this game tonight. What is that?
A cardigan?
Yeah, it looks like it.
Oh, wow.
Looks like it.
Okay.
All right, Nuggets and Pacers tonight from Gainbridge Fieldhouse in Indianapolis, home of the NFL Combine. You're watching Nuggets Live, brought to you by your Colorado Honda dealers, Vic Lombardi and Chris Dempsey. Maybe it's this unhealthy obsession with the Lakers, but that loss sort of lingered for a while. I don't know if it lingered with you.
Yeah, it didn't linger as much. I think when I think back about that game, you got to really tip your cap to the Lakers in terms of the game plan that they put out there, especially in regards to guarding Nikola Jokic, which we will get into. But then the execution and how hard they played. That was a very different Lakers team than I had seen, than we all have seen in recent years. I will be that might be the best they play the remainder of the season. Seriously, they played that well against the Nuggets, and so I don't know that I think that's sustainable for the Lakers, but I guess we shall see.
That's what you hope.
Yep.
Copy that brought to you by All Copy Products as we look back at the loss Saturday night on national television, which has not been kind to the Nuggets this season, by the way. Much better when they're on Altitude TV, Channel 20.
Just stay right
9
here.
News. Just stay in this little area code and you'll be just good. Hey, look at what the Nuggets did. Their season average versus their performance against the Lakers. Did not shoot the ball well in that game. Did not get to the paint well at all in that game because they doubled and triple teamed Nikola Jokic, and they turned the ball over left and right. Got to protect the rock, Chris Dempsey.
Yeah, Vic, I just think that turnovers were the thing here. And, even as the Lakers were playing really good and tough defense and Luka was making all the shots and doing all the things, the Nuggets had this game within like a 6 to 10 point space for the most part until you get into the end of the third and then into the fourth. And I just think that was just all due to this turnover issue. 39 points off of those turnovers. Live ball turnovers just all night long and put the Lakers in transition a ton, 33 fast break points. Those are just astronomical numbers to allow another team, but it's basically built off of your mistakes. And so, look, if they just cut the turnover points in half, now we're talking about a game that gets into the fourth quarter, is more in the balance, and then all you need maybe is just a couple of shots, even if Nikola is not getting as many attempts in a game.
Let's go to Indiana and join Scott Hastings, who's calling the game tonight, Nuggets and Pacers. But you were at the Lakers game the other night, Scooter, calling it on radio. What did you notice from your vantage point? How are the Lakers so successful at stopping Joker?
What we learned, and it's funny, I just spent some time with Sean Payton. Obviously, the Combine is about ready to get started here in Indianapolis. And it's, do we in free agency spend all the money and get a big-time wide receiver, whatever. It's still a dependent position. What we learned, I thought, in the Lakers game is it's still a dependent position. It's still at times, especially say, hey, just get him on the block, we'll be good. Got to be able to get him the ball on the block. What they did, I thought, so well, talking about the Lakers defensively, is there was a body everywhere. Anything in the paint was closed down. Nothing was just absolutely clean. That right there is a jump ball. If I'm going to try to pass the ball inside to a paint guy, and I've got to turn my back 3/4, quarter, a little bit away from where I want to pass it. They always tell passers to make sure and put your chest up to the ball, then that's how you're going to score. We're showing some highlights, what they did not do in this game, and that's obviously getting into the paint. That's where they've lived. That's their number one thing. 2 games in a row, 40-plus three-point attempts. And I'll just say this. I got so much to say, by the way. Getting in the paint is work and is hard. 2 games in a row, they're plus 40 3-point attempts in both games, 48 and I think 41. It's easy to shoot threes. They got to get back in work mode. Lakers were great. Lakers were physical. I give that to them. I thought J.J. Redick was they talk about it as Luka's coming out party for the Lakers. That's fine. It was J.J. Redick's coming out party. His game plan was outstanding, and I thought caught Denver completely by surprise. If I'm going to be, as a perimeter guy, guys in my chili and in my chest, and I'm going to go like this, and I got to pass into the post, how am I going to do it? If they're going to play high-low, and I'm not going to flash on the weak side so I can dump it down because the guy's bottoming me on the outside, they took everything away and turned Denver into what they were, I thought, early in the year, a stand-by-themselves kind of half-court offense. And that's where I thought they really struggled. But the Lakers won because they were way more physical.
Yep.
Way more physical in Denver. And Denver's got to have an answer for that.
Played with much more intensity. Thank you, Scotty. Have a great call tonight. Let's take it a step further with Chris Dempsey now, who's going to go break it down on the big board. Details with Dempsey. You saw something J.J. Redick employed to slow down Nikola Jokic, and a lot of it came by just fronting him.
Fronting, and that's something that we usually never see in regards to guarding Nikola Jokic. But if they do that, maybe it's a couple of possessions. The Lakers did this all night long. But first of all, they established themselves physically. Watch how many times he gets contacted in this play. That's 1. That's 2. And they started picking him up at half court and bodies always on Nikola Jokic. 3, as he's trying to get across. 4, as Austin Reeves comes across and make sure that he can't just cut by himself. And then we front. And when you front and then you have Austin Reeves back here as support help, makes it very, very difficult for this pass to get in. And so you feel like you can't even throw that pass, so you move the ball on. All right, cool. Going to move the ball on. Now, as Nikola Jokic comes out here, 6 times in one possession, he was contacted, and they were not about to let him touch the ball at all. And then, because he's such a great offensive rebounder, a Laker on both arms in terms of not allowing him to get to the ball as well. So you establish a physical presence with how you're going to play him, and then you just front him all night long. Jarrett Vanderbilt, a very athletic player. If you're going to throw that ball over the top, he's going to get a tip. He's going to get a tip, and he does right there. And they go off and are in transition. And then yet again, that is Austin Reeves fronting Nikola Jokic. You're going to have help from LeBron James, and then Luka Doncic there also staring at him. Now, when this ball gets up to the middle of the court, they pass him right off. So now LeBron James is guarding him, and he is establishing a fronting position. So for Aaron Gordon right there, he was most clearly looking in. At this point of the game, Nikola still has they're trying to get him the ball. They can't get him the ball. You get a block shot, you get a missed shot, and then the Lakers clear the defensive glass. And so I just think from the standpoint of the Nuggets have not seen – how many times have I sat there and said, Nikola has seen everything that you could ever throw at him. Hadn't seen that.
Yeah.
And neither have the Nuggets. But guess what?
Yeah.
They did that on February 22nd. These two teams meet again in the playoffs. Nuggets will have a counter.
Also saw a lot of this with Nikola.
Yeah,
it will. Just a lot of. I mean, it's just, and they wouldn't let him the entire time. I mean, try doing a show like this.
It's very difficult.
It's very hard.
Just live you up.
That's all night long. They wouldn't call it. They would allow them to hook onto him, and you grow frustrated by the end of the night.
Correct.
Let's see what the rest of the league does. If they learn anything by watching the Lakers, or if it's a one and done. Here's a look at the tough road ahead. And I don't know about you. I like the fact that the Nuggets are going to be challenged. Yeah. I like the fact that these are 4 road games against winning teams. Each one a very good team. Hey, Coach Malone said it himself. They got to beat the good ones.
There's only 25 games to go, and we have to find a way to, to show that we can beat, the teams that are relevant. And we've done a hell of a job of, that 9-game win streak. Not one of those teams is above 500. And now this 4-game road trip, as Katie mentioned earlier, well, yeah, this is going to be a tough challenge starting here tonight in Indiana.
You said something earlier when we were talking off camera. The Nuggets are a known commodity.
Yeah.
They're a defending champion.
Correct.
We know what level they can play at.
That's why I'm not worried about the over 500 record, which, by the way, the Nuggets are one of only 9 teams with a winning record against 500 plus or better teams, or 18 and 15 in that respect this year. Now, look. What I think we're going to see with these particular 4 teams that they're going to play against, especially tonight, is your defense will be tested. Now, this is what I'm saying. If you're a known commodity, then what you have to show is that you have all of the areas of your game shored up to be able to be the contender that you're built to be.
What do you think Scott Hastings is telling Aaron Gordon right now?
He's like, just play some defense. Play, dunk, do all the dunking, and then hit some. Yeah. This guy hit 4 threes the last time he was out. I mean, he's playing great. Yeah, absolutely so. We'll see.
All right, when we come back on Nuggets Live, brought to you by your Colorado Honda dealers, why is Sean Payton at a Nuggets-Pacers game in Indy? And why is he talking to us? Next.